Good evening, my dear students. Hello to all of you. Very good evening to all my favorite students. I just wait every day for this time so that I can interact with you all and be with you all again. So thank you so much for your support, and I thank Sri Chaitanya Educational Institutions for giving me an opportunity to be with you all here at this time. So here we are again. This is Dr. Anisha. Welcome you all for the NEET Bridge Course 2025. Okay, everyone? So here we are again. Yes, okay. Your Bindu is here, new joining. Okay. So good evening. Every one of you have a pleasant evening. We are studying here the animal kingdom. We have been studying a lot of topics here as the Bridge Course NEET 2025 in Zoology. And today also we are going to continue the animal kingdom. Animal kingdom, we have studied the different types of phylum, different bases of classification, the methods of classification, and a lot of other things. So we are continuing the animal kingdom all over again. So animal kingdom, we have discussed the phylum Porifera, phylum Coelenterata, Ctenophora, and now here we are starting with the phylum Flatworms, that is Platyhelminthes, and the phylum Aschelminthes. Alright. So all of you, I hope you all are ready with your pen and paper, ready with equal amount of enthusiasm as I have for the class and equal amount of energy for the class. Alright, so let's start the class again here. So now here we have the phylum of the animal kingdom, that is phylum Platyhelminthes. I hope I am clearly audible to each one of you. Alright, okay, so this is phylum Platyhelminthes. So Platyhelminthes is the, yes, ready Veda, yes. So Platyhelminthes is the flatworms. It is the phylum of the flatworms. We have studied why we have given these different names to each and every phylum. Alright, I am very sure you all remember how we have studied the basis of the classification, what all basic components form this whole of the animal kingdom, and why we call an organism to be an animal. I am very sure you all remember, and if at all you have any doubts, if you don't remember, please go back to the previous videos again, videos where I have described how these organisms can be concluded as an animal. The process of animal kingdom classification and the different bases of classification of each animal into different phylum. Alright, so here we are again now. The phylum Platyhelminthes. Phylum Platyhelminthes, the phylum of the flatworms. Okay, so it is the phylum of the flatworms, and these flatworms are now the topic of our discussion today. Alright, so flatworms, why the name we have given or the scientists have given the flatworms? The flatworms are called as flatworms because they are flat like a leaf. In simple words, we call them, they are as flat like a paper sheet or a leaf. Or in biological word, we can say them, they are dorso-ventrally flattened. Flat, that means it's like a leaf. Flat, that means they are dorso-ventrally flattened. Alright, so their body is dorsally ventrally flattened. They are dorso-ventrally flattened, hence they are called as flatworms. Now coming to their general characters. Okay, so their general characters are, starting with the habit. Okay guys, I am very sure that you now remember this sequence because this sequence is important. We have learned the sequence of the animal kingdom phyla. Now since the animal kingdom phyla sequences are important, as important is this: the habit, habitat, the body segmentation, the level of organization, all these are in same sequence as we are starting from the phylum Porifera. So in the Porifera also we have followed the same sequence. Now here in this phylum also we are going to follow the same sequence. So now here it is the habit first. In the habit we will describe whether it is an organism which has a different type of processes, like some of them can be free living organism and some of them can be parasitic forms. Alright, some of them are parasitic forms. Okay, some of them are free living, some of them are parasites. Free living means they can live freely wherever they want. Parasitic form means they are present inside a host body. They require a host organism to live or to survive as an organism. Now these organisms, these parasitic forms, they are usually endoparasites. They are endoparasites. What is the meaning of endoparasites? I am very sure we have already discussed it here, and now you also remember that endoparasites are the parasites which live inside a host body. When they live inside a host body, they are called as endoparasites. So these are endoparasites. They are either free living or endoparasitic forms. That is the flatworms. Now it is the habitat. What type of habitat they are living if they are free living? If they are free living, they are either aquatic or terrestrial, either they are aquatic or terrestrial, and in aquatic also both freshwater, marine water forms are even present. So that is the aquatic or terrestrial forms in case of the free living. Other than that, mostly they have parasitic forms. Okay. Now coming to the level of organization. See, in case of level of organization here, majority of books have given it as the organ level of organ system. Alright, organ level of organ system. So this is organ level of organ system, but in some cases, for example, NCERT summary even, and even in some higher author books also, they have given it as organ system level of organization. So remember my words, both of them are correct. So either organ or organ system level of organization is present in this phylum. Now why is that? Because some of the examples of this phylum, they belong to the organ level of organization. But some of them have developed organ system also. So that is why even in NCERT summary part, they have given a big chart in this summary where they have mentioned it as organ or organ system. So that is also correct. Do not get confused. If they ask as a question whether it is an organ or which type of level of organization, if they have no other option, then it is organ level of organization mostly. But in certain cases, remember that it also has organ system level of organization. They also show organ system level of organization. Alright. Now, the body symmetry. Remember this point, everybody? You all should remember this point that in NCERT summary, they have given it as organ system. Whereas when you are actually reading the chapter, in that they have given it as the organ level of organization. Both of them are correct depending on the example they have taken. Some of the examples show organ level, some of them show organ system level. Alright. Okay. Now body symmetry, yes, everyone have started answering again. I am very proud of you all that you all have understood the topic and you all have started understanding it. So body symmetry is bilateral symmetry. See, we call this phylum to be a milestone phylum because many of the things are first time happening in this phylum. We'll come to that part. Now, it is the body symmetry. First, it is the bilateral symmetry. So, in case of bilateral symmetry, the body can be divided into two equal halves by only a single plane of symmetry. Yes, so that is why it is bilateral symmetry. Body plan, it has body plan. Which type of body plan it is? The body plan will be again the blind sac body plan. It has blind sac body plan. There is only a single opening present. It has no separate opening for the process of egestion. Next it is germ layers. It is the first triploblastic organism. Remember, it is triploblastic. It is the first triploblastic organism. First triploblastic organism is this. So they are first triploblastic organism. Okay. Next it is coelom, the body cavity. What type of coelomic cavity they have? The body cavity or the coelomic cavity, it is still acoelomate. Now what are the reasons for these? why or how they have the first triploblastic organism, how they have the bilateral symmetry, and how they have this acoelomate body cavity. Because as far as we have seen, what we have seen? We have seen that when there is 3 germ layer present, there is a high chance the organism is going to be a coelomate, a true coelom. Because remember it, the body cavity will be a true body cavity or a true coelom when there is a space present between ecto and endoderm, which is completely covered by mesoderm. Alright. So now that space is called as coelom if it has a covering of mesoderm. So no mesoderm, no true coelom. Now here, since they have a mesoderm, because it is a triploblastic organism, even after having a 3rd germ layer mesoderm, it is still an acoelomate organism. Now how is that possible? Now coming to the speciality of this phylum. The speciality of the phylum is the Phylum Platyhelminthes, which we refer as a milestone phylum. Why? Because they are the first phylum to be triploblastic, as well as the first phylum to be bilaterally symmetrical, as well as another first. Remember these 3 points. This is very, very important. First phylum to have cephalization. Now what are these things? Cephalization. These are very, very, very important points. What are these? They are the first phylum to have the cephalization. They are the first phylum to have the bilateral symmetry as well as triploblastic layer. 3rd germ layer is present. The body cavity contains the 3rd germ layer. So that is the triploblastic organism. Bilateral symmetry and cephalization, how they are related. See here, if this is the structure of the organism, I'll draw it here. See, this is the structure of the organism and this is another head. Cephalization, cephalic, the word cephalic means the head. Cephalization means the formation of head. Cephalization means the formation of head. Okay. So when the head started forming, see, if we see a jellyfish, if we see hydra, if we see sea anemone, all these organisms do not have a separate head. We cannot say this is the part of the head, this is the part of the tail. No, we cannot say that. If this is the jellyfish appears like this. Alright, the jellyfish appears like this. That is the structure of the jellyfish. Now which one will be called as the head or which one will be called as the tail? There is no structure as head and tail. Similarly, the hydra shows the presence of tentacles like this. Now which is the head and tail? There is no head and tail before this phylum. Now from this phylum there appeared the first time the head. So like this. Now what are the appearances of these organisms? See here, I will draw one simple organism which is called as a Dugacia. Alright. This is called as an organism called as Dugacia or Planaria. Okay, this is the group Planaria or Dugacia. Now these organisms, they have a separate part which is the head and rest of the body. So the formation or structure like head first time started in these organisms. If you see the tapeworm, the structure of the tapeworm almost like this. Okay, the tapeworm structure almost like this. Okay, this is the tapeworm head, the hooks and suckers, this is the neck, and this is the whole tape-like body. Alright, even the tapeworm also shows the presence of the structure which is called as the head. So here is the head of the tapeworm also. Similarly, if you take other organisms also, in this phylum, they have started developing this head-like structure which is separate from the rest of the body. This appearance or this characteristic is called as cephalization. where the cephalic word, the word cephalic means head. Remember, the word cephalic means head. So the formation or separation of the head from rest of the body first time started in this phylum, and hence it is a milestone phylum. So this phylum has the appearance first time it shows the cephalization, and since the time it started forming the head, the body now cannot be called as radial because the body now has a part, a point, or we can say a pole. For example, human body has a pole, that is the head and rest of the body. Now if we have to cut the body into two equal halves, we have to cut it like this so that right and left halves can be formed. Similarly, here now they can be cut into two equal halves only like this. Otherwise it cannot be cut into two equal halves. We cannot cut it into this form. Horizontally we cannot cut it, only vertical lines can cut it. Similarly, with this organism also, we can cut it into two equal halves only like this. So that is why the organisms are the first one to develop the head. They are the first one to develop the bilateral symmetry, as well as they are the first triploblastic organisms. Now another very important or very interesting thing. They are triploblastic. Very good. I have now understood they are triploblastic. And they are acoelomate. They do not have coelomic cavity. How is that possible, or why is that even happening? What answer do you have for this? Can anybody answer me till I am making this diagram? Who is going to answer me why they are called as acoelomate? This is the ectoderm. This is the endoderm. Okay, and now in between there is definitely the mesoderm present. This is definitely the mesoderm present, alright. Between ectoderm and endoderm there is mesoderm present. So what all names we can give? This is the ectoderm, the endoderm, and in between if you see, it is the mesoderm present. So if all the three germ layers are present, then why are we calling it an acoelomate organism? Because to call an organism coelom, we have two important characteristics. What are these? First, there should be an empty space between ecto and endoderm, and second, it should be completely covered with the mesoderm. So second one is following. Fine. Second one is getting covered with two mesoderm layer. But the first one, the space between ecto and endoderm should be an empty space, is not followed here. Why? Because there is a tissue present in between the ecto and endoderm. It is not an empty space. This space is filled with a tissue. This tissue name is quite unique. It is called as a parenchyma tissue. Yes, you heard it right. It is not the same parenchyma as you have studied it in the botany. No, it is not present as the same parenchyma in the parts of the plant. No, it is a different parenchyma tissue. Alright, this is a parenchyma tissue which is present throughout its body, which is acting as a skeleton called as the hydroskeleton. Okay, it is providing a strength, it is providing a shape and structure to the body, as well as sometimes it is thought to be excretory in function. So remember that the space between ecto and endoderm is not empty. It is filled with a tissue called as parenchyma tissue, which gives it a hydroskeleton like structure. Hydroskeleton means, imagine we have a balloon. Normally, we blow air inside a balloon to make it rigid. If there is no air inside the balloon, it will be a soft structure. But what happens if we blow the air inside the balloon? It will swell up, it becomes rigid, it becomes strong, it has a shape to it. Now, imagine if we are filling the water inside the balloon instead of an air. Even then also it will swell up, like we see the cases of water balloons. In case of water balloons, we fill the water inside the balloon, and even then also the balloon will swell up. It will have its shape, it will become rigid. So that is what is hydroskeleton is. The hydroskeleton means hydro is water. The water is providing a rigidity or a shape to the structure. The presence of the water making the structure, making the body rigid and providing it a shape. That is called as hydroskeleton. The parenchyma tissue is having a fluid inside it which is giving it a hard, rigid shape and structure, which is called as hydroskeleton. So due to the presence of such type of tissue inside it, it is not having a cavity, which is why it is called as acoelomate. That is the reason why even after having a third germ layer, it is acoelomate. Why? Because it is acting like a hydroskeleton, the tissue present between ecto and endoderm. And if you have any confusion about the hydroskeleton, just remember water balloons. Yes, we fill water inside the balloon. Even then the balloon will swell up, it will have its shape, it will become rigid, and that is what the hydroskeleton is. The water putting pressure on the walls of the balloon or of the body is the hydroskeleton. Okay? So these are the important characteristics of the phylum Platyhelminthes. The first phylum to be triploblastic, the first phylum to have bilateral symmetry, the first phylum to have cephalization, that is formation of head-like structure. And this is the reason why the phylum is called as acoelomate, because of the presence of parenchyma tissue between them. Now the phylum Platyhelminthes, flatworms or the platyhelminthes, they have developed a special type of nervous system and excretory structures. Okay, but before that we will come to the adaptations of parasitism. Okay, now we have seen these platyhelminthes or these flatworms, most of them are endoparasites to different host body. Now since they are mostly endoparasites, these endoparasite organisms have to live inside the host body through various mechanisms. Otherwise the host body, for example human body, have many mechanisms to eliminate these flatworms from the body. We have a strong immune system, we can easily eliminate the flatworms out of our body. But still the flatworms can survive in our body, and what is that called? Parasitic adaptation. Now what is that parasitic adaptation? First of all, how they survive inside human body? First of all, they have flattened body. Flattened body. Flattened body is dorso-ventrally flattened. They are flat like a leaf. So it becomes very easy for them to stay inside our intestinal structures or inside any other tissue. It can survive. It can stick to our wall, to the various parts of the body wall. It can easily stick. So this flattened body, dorso-ventrally flattened body is a very important parasitic adaptation. That is how it lives inside our body. Second one, it has resistant cuticle, or we can say resistant outer body wall. So resistant outer body wall, cephalization definition. Okay, so resistant outer body wall, that means that if they have the body wall which should be resistant to the digestive enzymes. Different digestive enzymes are secreted by host body, whether it is a human host or a sheep or a goat or a cow or any other host, whatever host it is. They will secrete some of the enzymes, some digestive juices to destroy the germs. These are the germs, one of them. Now these germs or their body wall will be destroyed due to the presence of the digestive enzymes of the host. Now they have this resistant wall which is resistant to the digestive juices. For example, our gastric juices, our enzymatic release from the intestine have no effect on the body wall of these flatworms. So that is one of their survival strategies, or commonly called as the parasitic adaptation. They can survive even in the presence of our digestive juices, hydrochloric acid from the stomach and many other enzymes. Okay. Third, they have suckers and hooks. Suckers and hooks on their body. They have suckers and hooks on their body surface. Now, how do they have suckers and hooks on their body surface? They have structures like this. For example, if you have the structure like this in case of Taenia solium, okay, this is the head structure of these Taenia solium. They have hooks and suckers like this. These are the suckers. Do not consider these to be eyes. These are suckers. These are the layer of hooks present. So these hooks and suckers, what they help? These hooks, these are the suckers and the hooks. They help in attaching to the host body wall like this. So they will attach to the body wall with the help of the hook. They will hook around with the help of the suckers. Suckers is almost like the vacuum pump. So they will suck it at the intestinal wall or various musculature, various structures like a vacuum pump. So it will attach itself to the host body with the help of the suckers and hooks in their body. Okay, this is the structure of the Taenia solium head. If you consider other organisms also, like in case of the fascioline, other organism, they all have, all the parasites of the flatworms, they have these hooks and suckers which help in attachment to the host wall. And the fourth one is formation of large number of eggs. Formation of large number of eggs. Okay, they form large number of eggs. And what is the benefit of it? They can produce millions of eggs inside their body. As a result of which, what happens? Out of, suppose they have produced 10 million eggs, even if most of them gets destroyed, at least 1,000 of them can survive. These 1,000 of them will come out of the host body through the fecal matter. From one host body to another host body it will get transferred, because they are parasites. They do not stay independently. They have to live inside a host body. So large number of eggs will be produced. Most of them will get destroyed, but at least some of them will survive and will continue their generation. So that is why they will produce large number of eggs. So these are the most important parasitic adaptations for the flatworms. Flatworms, they are commonly endoparasites of host body, and from transferring from one host body to another, they pass on their egg stage or the larval stages. So to continue their generation, they have to produce large number of eggs. Otherwise, they may undergo the process of extinction if they produce small number of eggs. So these are the various methods by which they can maintain their parasitic method or parasitism inside a host body, and these are called as parasitic adaptations. That is how they live inside host body. Alright. So these are the important characteristics we have discussed about the flatworms. So in the flatworms, it is the endoparasitic forms. They are aquatic terrestrial even if they are in free living form. Organ or organ system level of organization, bilateral symmetry, blind sac, body plan. They do not have anus. They just have a single opening which is acting as both mouth and anus. Triploblastic acoelomate, and they are the first phylum to have triploblastic bilateral symmetry, cephalization, and showing the first of them as the acoelomate organisms even after having third germ layer due to the presence of parenchyma tissue. Now what are their examples? Now coming to the examples, if we come to the example, see it has some of the very weird names, very we can say a different type of names. I would not say the word difficult because nothing is difficult for you in your life. If you think it is difficult, only then it is going to be difficult. Otherwise, nothing is going to be difficult in your life. So do not take the word difficult names. It is a different name. You may need some time to remember it, but you will definitely remember it one day. So first it is the fasciola. Fasciola is one of the example of flatworms, which is called as liver fluke commonly. Okay. Another name is Taenia. Now it has two different species. One is called as Taenia solium, which is called as pork tapeworm. Another is called as Taenia saginata, which is the beef tapeworm. Taenia saginata, which is the beef tapeworm. Alright. Again, through food and through various mechanisms, it transmits from one host to the another. Now it is the fourth one. If you take, it is called as a free living form, that is Planaria or Dugacia, which is a free living flatworm. Free living flatworm. Okay. Blood fluke, which is called as Schistosoma. Schistosoma. Hematobium, that is called as blood fluke. So for the time being, these many names are sufficient for you all. Organisms are terrestrial. Yes, the free living forms are terrestrial. Can survive without the host. See, the parasitic ones are obligate parasites. They do not live outside the host body. Okay. Can platyhelminth organisms survive without host body? Okay. Lasya, the answer is if they are free living forms like the Planaria or Dugacia, they can survive freely without the host in the soil also. But if examples like Taenia solium, pork tapeworm, or any of the tapeworm, the liver fluke, the blood fluke, the lung fluke, these parasitic forms are there, they are called as obligate parasites. Obligate parasite means they will not survive outside the host body. It's not like as soon as they come out and they will die. It's not like that. But they will not having any sexual reproduction. They will not be able to generate their progenies. So they are not going to survive for a long time. They are only surviving inside a host body. If the host body does not have this or do not have the ability to sustain these organisms, only then the host body will be able to survive even without them. But the parasite is obligate parasite. It will survive only inside the host body. Outside the host body only its eggs or larval stages will be present. As an adult worm, as an adult organism, it will have to stay inside a host body. Is that clear, Lasya? I hope I am clear right now that for their adult stages, sexual reproduction and many other processes, they will have to have inside the host body. But if they are transmitting from one person to another, at that time, at that stage, it is the egg stage or a larval stage which gets transmitted from one person to another. Without the egg or larval stage, it is not going to survive, and that is why they produce large number of eggs. They have multiple larval stages to get transmitted from one person to another. Otherwise, inside a host body, they will have the adult stages and sexual reproduction stages. Okay, they do not do or they do not reproduce outside the host body. So no, they do not have a life cycle outside host body. They have to have a host to complete their life cycle. Okay. Okay. So this is about the flatworms. Now we are coming to another interesting parasites called as the Aschelminthes or roundworms. So I am very sure you remember why are we calling them as roundworms? Who is going to answer me? Why are we calling them as roundworms? Anybody? Why Aschelminthes is called as roundworms? I have already discussed it earlier. Now who will be the first one to answer it? Anybody? Who is going to answer? Hydroskeleton. Okay, yes, I will be explaining. Okay, Khalil. Khalil is the first one. Yes, very good. When cut it looks round. Of course, yes, absolutely. Okay, for hydroskeleton, I would just like to add one point that hydroskeleton, it is like when you fill anything with water, that makes it little tough, little rigid, gives it a shape. For example, I have taken the example of water balloons. Even if you take any other example, suppose it is a thin membrane filled structure and you put inside water, the water has a pressure on the wall of it. The pressure of the water on the wall of it makes it rigid and gives it a shape. That is called as hydroskeleton. Hydro is water. Water giving shape and rigidness to any structure is called as hydroskeleton. So hydro means water. Normally our skeleton is made up of bone or cartilages. But instead, if water gives that rigid and strong or strength or the hardness, that is called as hydroskeleton. And I hope that I am clear to you now. Even if you have any doubts further, go back to the video and see it once again, you will understand. Alright, now we are coming back to the roundworms. Okay, so now what are these roundworms? It is the habit. What will be the habit of the roundworm? Mostly they are also endoparasites. Most of them are endoparasites and few free living forms are present. Few free living forms are present. Alright. So now here we come back to this part. If habitat, since they are endoparasites, so most of the part their habitat is inside a host. So habitat for endoparasite is inside a host. But free living forms, in case of the free living forms, yes, in case of the free living forms, where are they staying? Again, they can be terrestrial, that is in the soil, or they can be aquatic also. Alright, terrestrial and aquatic forms also. Now remember, we are going to read many of the parasitic forms of the roundworms. But what are the examples of free living roundworm? It is very difficult. You are not going to get it in your NCERT. So remember, the free living form of roundworm is rhabditiform or rhabdites we can call. The rhabdites. Alright. So that is a free living form of the roundworm. Now roundworms, why are they called as the roundworms? They are called as roundworms because yes, they are cylindrical, and when they appear cylindrical, if you cut it into cross section, if you cut it into half, you will see the outline to be round. The outline will be round, hence the name roundworm is given. Alright. So if you take an example like this, here if this is the example of a cylindrical structure, so this is the cylindrical structure like this, and if you cut this cylindrical structure into half like this, you will see the outline to be a round outworm. So this outline will be round, hence the name roundworm is given. Now coming to the level of organization. So what will be the level of organization? Here it is the organ system level of organization. Since they have evolved so much now, it is the organ system level of organization. Body symmetry. Body symmetry has already started from the flatworms. In the flatworm we have seen it is the bilateral body symmetry, and now in this case the body symmetry will be again bilateral. Since they have already started the formation of the head, it is now the bilateral symmetry, because now the body has a portion which is called as head. Now the body has a part which is called as anterior part. So here it is the part called as the bilateral symmetry. Body plan. Here in this case the body plan is It will be which type of body plan? Now it has a two separate openings. One is the head or mouth and another is the anus. So two separate openings is present now. So here starts the tube within tube body plan. Tube within tube body plan. Both mouth and anus is present. It has both mouth and anus. The germ layers, here they will be again triploblastic germ layers. So they are now triploblastic, and the coelom is pseudocoelom. Pseudocoelom. Alright. So now they have triploblastic and pseudocoelom body cavity. Why are they called as pseudocoelom? Now who will be the first one to answer, because we have already discussed about what is acoelom, what is pseudocoelom and what is complete coelom. So if they have pseudocoelom body cavity, what is the reason behind pseudocoelom, or when we call it a pseudocoelomic organization? So what is it? Can anybody answer me? Till I am making the diagram again. Give me the answer. Why are they called pseudocoelom? Again, this is the ectoderm. It is the endoderm. Ectoderm, endoderm, and here it is the mesoderm. Here it is the mesoderm. Okay, this is how it appears like. The mesoderm appears like this. So see here, in this case if you see, it is the, this is the ectoderm, endoderm, mesoderm. Alright, so this is ectoderm, endoderm, it is the mesoderm. Now what we see here in the mesoderm? Here in the mesoderm we will see that the whole of the cavity between the ecto and endoderm, it is not completely covered with the mesoderm. Instead, the mesoderm is present in the form of scattered pouches. The mesoderm is present in the form of scattered pouches. So, the space between ecto and endoderm is not completely covered by mesoderm. Instead, the mesoderm is covering the cavity into small pouches. Such type of body cavity is called as pseudocoelom, where the mesoderm is not completely covering the space between ecto and endoderm. So I am very sure you all remember it, but still I'll just write it once again. Mesoderm present in scattered pouches and do not completely cover the space between ecto and endoderm, between ectoderm and endoderm. That is why it is called as pseudocoelom. Alright, so this is the reason why they are called as pseudocoelom. Okay, so now we are coming to the shape and structure of this organism. See here, these organisms are cylindrical in shape, pointed at their ends. Okay, they are the first organisms to be unisexual, because till platyhelminthes they were all bisexual. Now from here the process of dioecious as well as we can say the unisexuality started. So these organisms are unisexual or dioecious. Alright, they are unisexual and dioecious, and they show clear sexual dimorphism. Now what is this sexual dimorphism? They show sexual dimorphism. What is this terminology mean? Sexual dimorphism. See, break this word. Sexual dimorphism. Di is two. Morphism is external appearance. So externally they will appear as separate male and female. So that is called as external appearance of male and female sexual dimorphism. Okay. Sexual dimorphism starts in the phylum Aschelminthes or these roundworms. So what type of sexual dimorphism we can see here? See here, the female is usually longer than the males. Females are usually longer than the males, and the ends of the male and female, this is the anterior end. Both of them have anteriorly present the digestive structure here. So both of them have this anteriorly present digestive structures like this. Okay. This is the mouth and this is the anus present. So both of them have mouth and anus structure. Now if we come to the end part, if you take the just hind end, this is the anterior end, this is the posterior end. So posterior end, this is the posterior end. Okay. This is the anterior end where the mouth is present. If you take a larger look at the posterior end, what will you see? If you take the larger look at the posterior end, in case of male and a female, what you are going to see here? See here, in case of this is the anus. Okay. So this is the end of the female. Posterior end of the female appears like this, and the posterior end of the male has structure like this. Now what is it? It is curved. It has a straight end and this has a curved end. It is a straight end. The posterior end of the female is straight. The posterior end of the male is curved end. Remember this. This is the most important difference between the male and female distinction. Straight end, curved end. Alright. And the males have a characteristic structure which are called as, this is called as spicules, copulatory spicules. This is called as copulatory spicules present in the end of the males. So males have these structures as well as a curved end, and the structure of the body of the male is much smaller compared to the female. So these are the three important differences between male and female organism in case of roundworms. Roundworms are the one which shows unisexuality as well as sexual dimorphism. Female is larger than the male. Female has a straight end. Male have a curved end. Females do not have copulatory spicules. They have two pointed structures called copulatory spicules. So this is called as the sexual dimorphism. From the roundworms, the sexual dimorphism and the unisexuality begins. Now coming to the examples. So the examples of roundworms will be giant roundworm, or commonly called as the roundworm is the Ascaris. The most common species is Ascaris lumbricoides. Little big name, but nothing for you because you all are very talented in knowing the names. Pinworm, also called as threadworm, which is Enterobius vermicularis. Hookworm, Ankylostoma and Necator americanus. Ankylostoma duodenale and Necator americanus. Both of them are called as the hookworm, and there is filarial worm. Filarial worm is Vicaria bancrofti. So these are the important species of the roundworms. Okay. So, hello everyone. Thank you for listening to this whole session and being with me. It is all a huge pleasure to be with you all and connect with you all. And thanks for this whole of the session. Okay? So, I hope and I wish you all study well, do hard work, keep your focus to the goal and study well for the NEET 2027 exams. Okay? We will be seeing each other again tomorrow, and till then, have a great time, study well, stay focused. Thank you everyone, all the best.